USAID report on education. It acknowledges some of the improvement in, the
It will be very surprising if any international organization comes to Ghana to write a report on anything where it will not acknowledge what progress there is. This is a standard procedure.
So it's nothing.
As a researcher and as a policy maker going into any country, especially one with which you have bilateral relations. You remember as ambassador to the United States. So the USAID is a kind of organization I know somewhat well. They will have to write in a report. So if you look at 20 chapters, you will see a section that talks about the improvements that Ghana has made over a certain period. But if you read another chapter or the next chapter, they will tell you the problems that have worsened. So I don't know what you are reading. We don't have the textbook here. I'm just explaining that I'm not surprised that you get such paragraphs in any report of any international organization. I've worked for 4 of them.
Well,
but
so,
you will have to read the whole report.
I'm also surprised about your comments on basic education particularly, because we have an education minister who came into the country from the US also with a lot of dreams and a lot of visions. He had told us about the things he wanted to do, digitalize education even. You're telling me you are not seeing any of those?
Well, I'm not in primary school or secondary school, and I'm not also in the ministry.
But you have your education organization. You must have seen things across.
Yeah, so I'm saying that the information we have, and I think the over 100 civil society organizations that double or relate to the educational system, they put out various reports. I think Education Watch and other such organizations.
Very well.
And the reports that they put out suggest that Ghana's primary and junior high school systems have suffered adversely, partly because of the focus on the senior high school education.
Has the free senior high school lived up to expectation? Is it working for the Ghanaian people?
Well, the first thing is that it is not as free as people had thought it would be. Why? If you have a child in secondary school right now, or a brother or sister or a nephew, ask them for the list that the school is sending them, which requires them to bring a bucket and bring a cutlass and to bring a rake and a broom, all kinds of things that were never before part of what any student had to take.
Is it not because the head teachers themselves are doing that? It's not because the ministry
The head teacher dare not do it under this administration. I've heard of teachers being sacked and dismissed for any small infractions. These are the most highly controlled Ministry of Education or Government of Ghana policy as far as education is concerned. They are not allowing headmasters to have any freedom at all. I went to speak to the Conference of Headmasters of Assisted Secondary Schools at the latest conference in Achimota, and the language there from the participants was one of almost, how to live within a dictatorship within the educational system. That's how they see it.
Really?
I'm not a teacher, I'm not education minister, but those who are in it say there's hardly any room to maneuver. No, if the finance minister himself says that, look, he should have the right to pay for his own child's education, finance minister of Ghana, Kenneth Ofori-Atta, but his cabinet, including the president, tell him, no, you can't do it because we are not allowing parents to support their own children's education. What kind of, forgive me to say, the English word would be rubbish, would that be? The parent wants to help his own child's education, but he doesn't want to necessarily pay through the government, who will steal it. So he says, look, my child is going to a secondary school through parent-teachers. Do you know why they have suspended or abolished parent-teacher associations, which have existed in Ghana for about 50 years?
They said they wanted to be autonomous.
Who said that? Who said that? The parents said that?
From the press release. They wanted to be independent of the schools.
Which parents have said that?
So the ministry wants it to be, the education services wants it to be independent of the schools.
So the government is the one who says they want the parents to be independent. What does independent mean? They don't want the parents and the teachers to work together in the common interest of the students
they
and the
can
pupils.
work together, but when it comes to issues of fundraising and projects, they want to...
So you don't banish the parent-teacher associations. You just change the rules, if that's what you want to do, that there shall be parent-teacher associations, but when schools want to raise funds for projects, the parents should do this, and the teachers should do that, and the students should do whatever.
I see you think this could cause some problems.
It's causing the problems already. It's not it could cause problems. It is a big problem already in Ghana. That the parents who have... Where do you think government collects taxes from? You know where government collects taxes from? taxes. Where they go collect from?
From the people.
Yeah, from the people. And the same people from who you collect taxes who say that, look, we know you're collecting taxes from us and we are struggling with taxes. But please allow us in this secondary school, in the other secondary school, to contribute voluntarily to our own children's education. Say no. What common sense does that make?
Maybe because
I'm really yet to understand the common sense. Sorry
perhaps
about
because
that.
some people take advantage of that.
Oh yes, there'll be abuses, but there are no abuses going on in the government, even without parenting associations. So if you want to prevent abuses, then stop corruption in Ghana. Why do you sack Domelovo, who was just simply trying to do his work and insist on things being done right? Why did Matanamidu resign and call the president and the presidency the mother serpent of corruption? I mean, the language, mother serpent of corruption. I didn't know corruption was even a serpent. But that's Matanamidu's language. So these things are all going on right now. And there are over 100 incidents and cases of corruption and abuse of office in this current administration. Even Ajabin Kisi, the special prosecutor, is complaining that he's not getting the right support and all that.
Doc, is there any hope for Get Fund at this point?
Well, of course, and in the new government, you have to unravel whatever took place with the Chinese and get it on its normal feet.
I mean, you know of international agreements more than I do.
Sure.
How easy will that be?
Every international agreement can be cancelled, can be abolished, can be modified. It's an agreement. Every agreement, whether international or local, are all subject to change at any time. And the clauses are in the agreement. If you want to change this agreement, do this, do that. Your rental agreement, same thing. Your agreement with your employer, same thing. Every agreement anywhere is subject to change, modification, and to nullification, abolishing, whatever. So when NDC comes to power, we shall examine all agreements, including many that have been signed improperly, and people are leaking money out of the national coffers.
I see.
And make sure that things are done correctly. National Cathedral.
But your good friend was a member of the board. Your good friend, Papa, Archbishop Duncan
He's
Williams.
my spiritual father, yes.
Yes.
But he has left, has resigned.
But did you say anything
in
to him?
frustration and in anger.
Did you say anything to him from the get-go when he
I didn't have to say anything to him because I wasn't party to the discussions he had with the government, which offered him that role. If you're not aware of what the behind the scenes and even the official agreements are, you can't make serious comments.
Have you
so I give him a chance to do what he had to do. And when he realized that it was a waste of his time, he made it clear, together with several other pastors. Oh, well, there's no pastor with any seriousness who is on that committee.
Has he mentioned to you what it was that broke his back as far as the cathedral is concerned?
Well, I won't report what I would consider as confidential conversation with anybody. But I think the generality of the pastors and bishops felt that transparency was not available and good governance was not in place. And of course, you know about the cases involving Okujetua Blakwa and particular officers of the Secretariat who have offices in the President's office.
So you think that those must have played a role in his decision?
All of that, a sense of we have been deceived. We're not being told the truth. And, we are being used.
I see. I'm
sure that all of that will be part of what many of the bishops and pastors and archbishops have felt.
One last one before we go. Atukujo was your MP, and I made him a deputy minister, and you voted him out in the last elections. And because of that, I did not pay attention to development in your area. I'm glad you already know this. But this is President Akufo-Addo in 2024. He had made mention, he had said something similar when he visited, the affected
so you can
resident.
see that the person, if these statements are true, it only points out to the vindictiveness of the individual. If that's the thinking process, that you didn't do this for me, I won't do this for you. In Volta region, you didn't do this for me, I'll do this for you. In Central region, if that is true, I'm saying it's a if, then it just points out to the person as a highly vindictive person.
Well, so he said it. So then
I'm not the reporter, but
you think the president
is
vindictive?
If these things are true, and it's unfortunate. You should avoid saying such things. His advisors should tell him not to say that.
Right.
His lovely wife, Rebecca, should tell him not to say such things. His Council of State should tell him not to say such things. It's unbecoming of any president to sound vindictive that I did this because of you and this. No, it's not worth it.
Aren't all politicians like that?
Well, and some politicians are more like that. Donald Trump, we've all heard him insult people. And John Mahama, where did he say things like that?